Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my channel. I parted my hair on a different side, so I'm feeling incredibly validated in how sexy I feel. Today is the 1st of April. April Fools is for losers. I don't play jokes. I don't play games. I just keep it real. Just kidding. Do whatever you want. I don't judge you. So today you clicked on this little ditty because you want a little collective reading. This is going to be just open energy reading for the month of April. So this is for all signs. This is for just the absolute collective of us, every single one of us, even your auntie, your uncle, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, all them and you too. So before I get into this reading today, first, hi, are you doing okay? You look great. It's been a while, I miss you. I am back from Colorado. It was beautiful, I loved it, but I have and still am recovering from altitude sickness. If you don't think this is real, fuck you. This has been an interesting transition for me, so I thought, you know what? Let's just do a little ditty I haven't done in a long time, and that is a collective tarot pool. Today's tarot is the Smith-Waite deck. So we will be using a goodie, a classic, a baddie, and we'll kind of go through some transits for this month because this is a big month, April. You might not be aware, but we have a lot of things happening. So where do I even begin? The truth is we haven't had any planets in retrograde for quite some time, and that changes this month. That's kind of a big deal. Also, before I get started, let me just introduce myself. Hi, hello, my name is Lauren. I'm an artist, art ritual facilitator, Reiki practitioner, tarot reader, all magical things, and I use tarot and astrology to kind of give us some more concrete visuals around the astrological happenings. So that is what I do, and that's what I'll be kind of talking some with this magic here. I'm going to be looking up at my calendar, and if that makes you uncomfortable, move on, friendo. I'm just kidding. I'm so happy you're here. Please don't leave me. All right. So the first thing that happens this month is going to be Venus moves into Pisces on the 5th. So Pisces energy is coming in strong. We've got some Pisces transits happening. We have Mercury moving into Taurus on the 10th. So we've got some earthiness kind of entering with this beginning of the month. We have the water of Pisces in Venus. And so that might mean that our value system is going to be something that we have to really dig in deep into our subconscious. We might be seeing things get a little muddy around what our value system is, or we might get really dreamy about what we can achieve within our value system, which I think is a really good thing. I think that brings some really interesting energy. As far as the Mercury in Taurus, this is going to give us some grounding around our communication. We're going to see things as they are when it comes to communication. That means talking or receiving information. You might want to pull out some old books from your collection and just start kind of easing in with that sort of energy, something tangible that you can put your head around, some thoughts and feelings that might expand where you have been. On the 14th, we have Mars entering into Pisces. So again, another planet in the watery depths of belief, of systems, of practicality. Mars being how we pursue our belief systems. And so having both Venus and Mars and Pisces, we might see some structures come into place as far as how we pursue our belief systems. That was my wedding ring. We might come to understand how we pursue what's important to us as being more of a place of ease. We don't have to fight for it. We have to follow our intuition. So that's how I see both Mars and Venus really embodying this watery energy of Pisces. Things might not be as clear in this month because we have a lot going on. The full moon in Libra is going to be on the 16th. So keep that on your radar. It's going to be a really good lunation for people who are feeling stagnant. You might be feeling like action must be taken around this time, moving on some truths or some, I guess one way to look at it is moving in on what we find empowering for ourselves, what we want to stay in our lane as far as beautification of our life. Libra has a lot to teach us when we look at the card of justice. So I highly recommend you connect with that card on the full moon. Of course, I will be talking about Libra and justice and Aries and the Emperor for that lunation. Keep on the lookout for that. But on your own time, I would already encourage you to take out your justice card of your tarot deck and begin kind of just connecting to see what is this teacher here to bring you. And then on the 19th, the sun enters Taurus. This is going to be when we really want to take the fire of Aries and start to focus that energy into something physical. We can take care of our physical home. This is a great time to take care of things such as spring cleaning, for example. That can be a big one for a lot of us. Or it can just be nesting in a little differently, reclaiming your space, rearranging things so that the flow focuses on how to support you better. So that is another really pivotal part of the month. Of course, when we go from one sign to another, that is a big deal to me. We can start focusing on that energy really, really deeply. Now, we don't really have anything coming up until the 29th, when Mercury moves into Gemini, a very confusing sign for me. My mother is a Gemini. I know lots of great Geminis, but as a double earth sign, I don't get it. I don't understand it. So that might be really great for some of y'all. For me, it might personally brings up really dancing in other people's belief systems. And by that, I mean it might be a time when we are feeling extra all over the place because we might be more impressionable than ever. And impressionable is not necessarily a bad thing. It means that we're not necessarily so fixated on one solid truth, but in the mobility of truth. We can move through different belief systems. We can evolve based on our groups, people that we relate to, relationships. Again, for that, you might want to pull out your handy dandy lovers. But on the 29th is also when Pluto enters retrograde. Oh boy, I have been connecting with Pluto a lot. If you want to know what I have to say about Pluto, I have a whole series going up, and I will be working on creating more videos about the Pluto return of the United States. Boys and girls and Dems, let me just reiterate, Pluto is a key player in the next 2 to 3 years. Pluto ain't fucking around. Pluto don't give a shit about how you feeling today. Pluto is just here for the life, death, rebirth cycle of us all. And it's coming. So do with that as you will, I guess. But it's really not all bad. It's good. Death and rebirth are good. That's what I keep telling myself. And then, of course, we have a new moon in Taurus, partial solar eclipse. So take that day off, baby bird. Don't go to work. Don't extend yourself. Take a nap. That is a great ritual. I'm going to talk more about partial and just like eclipse season magic later in this month. But I highly, highly, highly recommend you do not do ritual on those days. Just don't. You don't gotta. It's doing the work for you. That's my highest advice in that area. Don't do shit. Don't do shit that day. You don't have to. Just look pretty, eat a snack, watch your favorite show, and let the eclipse ride through you because you do not have to do a damn thing. This is your mother. Your southern mother telling you not to worry. I don't know who that is, actually. So, with that all in mind, that little forecast for all of you who are curious, let's pull some cards. And today I'm going to pull some collective cards around. What am I feeling called to pull some cards around? Let's go with how to embody the magic of Pisces in the first half of the month. We're going to really be in, just calling in some last minute energy of Pisces. And so how can we work with this energy at the beginning of April? How can we work with this energy of Pisces, working through that energy of Venus and Mars entering Pisces? What is the invitation? So we have Five of Wands, which is actually really easy to understand here. Five of Wands usually comes up to remind us that it's not that deep, that we don't need to get that frustrated and wrapped up in the nitty-gritty, that what's happening is not actually big picture. It's just nonsense. So as we are working with the energy of Pisces, we might have a lot of shit come up from our subconscious underneath the surface. But what's important to remember, if this is you as Mars, which is a very fiery energy, and Venus, which is very earthy, grounded, but really focused on what's important to it, all about our value systems, what we find beautiful in the world, and Mars being how we pursue our value systems. Of course, I learned that from Brady Waller, a great astrologer who came up with the book that I illustrated, Planetary Pause. Make sure to check them out. The Mythic Landscape is their Instagram handle. It's important to remember that as this energy is bringing us into the watery realms of Pisces in these two planets, our value system and how we pursue it, not to get wrapped up in the simple of our day-to-day with others. We need to remember to keep things civil and that most things are not as important as they seem in the moment. Sometimes just reminding ourselves that this is not my circus, I don't need to make a whole fuss about this, gives us the fucking peace to keep it moving and rolling. So that's how I take this invitation with Five of Wands. Five of Wands usually represents that we are making something out of nothing. This isn't even a real fight. Nobody's really crossing sticks. It's just a pissing contest is what it is. Don't get wrapped up in the pissing contest of the day-to-day. Instead, focus on how you can keep your own peace as we're working with this little bit of water, well, a lot of bit of water during this fiery season of Aries and into Taurus. So let's kind of see what else can we pull some cards about. I'm feeling called to pull some cards around Pluto retrograde. What can we learn about Pluto retrograde for this month? This back to retrograde at the end of the month. This retrograde time, what sort of energy or what sort of teacher card can we connect with? What sort of card can we connect with as a teacher around this Pluto retrograde at the end of the month? Six of Cups. Remembering to stay light. Remember also where we have been before with Pluto retrograde. Perhaps go back to your own chart and see where Pluto has been fucking with you. If you are a Capricorn sun like myself, Pluto has been passing over your fucking natal sun constantly. Like, I'm so tired. But it hasn't been all bad. There has been nectar to rejoice in. There has been nourishment to soak up here. So that can be a big lesson for us all, is knowing where to remember our lightness, remember who we are, our child self. Pluto has been in Capricorn and is about to start moving back into Aquarius, making some moves into Aquarius. And we need to remember to nurture that version of self that can remain light, can remain open, and can move through this with ease. But also knowing how to share that ease, that love with those around us. This invitation can be so many different things. But Six of Cups is just really magical energy, because it reminds us of the memories that keep us going, of our hopes, our dreams, our purity that never leaves, our childlike wonder that never goes away. We just sometimes forget our connection to it. And I don't mean purity as in like, I'm mothered and I'm so pure. I mean like our pure of heart, our ability to believe in the best of others, our ability to be open to receiving. Purity doesn't have to be purity of thought, but purity of expectations. How can we still have faith in humanity when things get really spooky, scary, or just uncertain? And to close us out, I'm going to pull a card for what is the energy. We've talked about these different energies of planets and signs over this month. On my Patreon, we're talking about release, which of course, link to that in the description box down below. But what can be a card to support us as just a card of medicine for this month of April? What is a medicine card for the card of April? Ace of Pentacles. Aces are so great because they are an offering from God, Spirit, the Lord, like whatever, the universe. It is a cosmic, here you are. So I also feel like this is good energy to work with around Taurus, this first sign of the physical in the astrological wheel. It comes right after Aries, and that is because we need to give a container to this fire so that we can carry it forward throughout the year. And I love the Ace of Pentacles in this card because we see this portal that we are moving through and into this mountain range. Sometimes I see the Ace of Pentacles as the Garden of Eden. We are being offered all the earthly delights, which can be seen as monetary gain. It can be seen as our ability to make money, to go have a job, but it can also just be nourishment of self and our physical bodies, of the garden that we are tilling. Lindsay Mack also discusses that the pentacles are soul's work, the soul's work on earth. So that's the physical work that we do in order to make the world more inhabitable for everyone, including ourselves. It is really about tilling the earth, planting the seeds, and nourishing that physical realm so that we are really focused on something so much more than just money. It's not just money, it's not just abundance in that way. It's how is Spirit offering us so much deep abundance? And so this month of April, as we are moving through the seasons and we are really enjoying more of spring, more warm days, more moments of this bloom that is happening all around. The cherry blossoms are blooming in Philly. There are daffodils everywhere. It's absolutely gorgeous. How can we just see these gifts from Spirit, from the earth, from Source, and just say, yes, I accept. I am willing to take and partake in this beautiful nourishment. So I hope you found that helpful. I feel like Ace of Pentacles is really good nourishment. But as I said before, if you want some more content, check me out on Patreon, where I share my Creative Coven non-toxic art school, where we focus on using art as a way of connecting to ourselves, as a ritual and a spiritual practice. If that sounds supportive for you, links of course down below, along with my Happy Pluto Return shirt, which is in the shop right now. I'm going to keep that going for a while because, yeah, it's happening, whether we like it or not. So let's embrace it. Let's make it a party, right? But with that said, if you found this supportive, let me know. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out these videos that have been popping up around my face. And with that said, enjoy your first day of spring, babies. Or April. Spring has been happening. Bye.